For most of history, power belonged to empires with kings, armies, and ancient bloodlines. But the most powerful empire the world has ever seen did not rise from a throne. It rose from banks, debt, factories, and paper promises. The United States was never meant to rule the world. And yet somehow, the global economy now moves to its heartbeat. Every crisis, every boom, every collapse seems to begin or end in America. So how did a young nation, once broke and ignored, quietly become the world's financial empire? At the start, the United States was fragile and uncertain. Fresh out of revolution, drowning in debt, and surrounded by empires that expected it to fail. No gold mountain, no global influence. No ancient trade networks. Just a bold idea and a dangerous amount of ambition. Europe controlled money, Britain controlled trade. America was supposed to stay small, dependent, and irrelevant. But something different was already taking shape beneath the surface. The early leaders understood one brutal truth. Wars are won by soldiers, but empires are built by money. So while other nations chased territory, America chased systems. Banks were created not just to store money, but to control trust. Debt stopped being a weakness and became a weapon. The country learned how to borrow today in order to dominate tomorrow. And slowly, quietly, the foundation was laid. Then came industry. While old empires clung to tradition, America embraced machines. Factories replaced farms. Steel replaced soil. Railroads stitched the continent together like veins carrying economic blood. Every mile of track meant faster trade. Every factory meant more leverage. America was no longer just surviving, it was scaling. But the real shift happened when the world caught fire. World War I shattered Europe's economy. Empires bled gold while America sold supplies. By the time the war ended, the old powers were exhausted and in debt. And the United States was suddenly the world's creditor. Money had changed direction. For the first time, nations looked west when they needed survival. Still, America was not yet the empire. That moment came with collapse. The Great Depression broke confidence, destroyed savings, and exposed how fragile the system really was. People lost everything overnight. Hope disappeared. But from that pain came control. New institutions were built. Rules were written. The government stepped into the economy in ways never seen before. And the dollar began transforming from national currency into global anchor. Then came the Second War. World War II did what centuries of politics could not. It erased the old financial order completely. Europe lay in ruins. Meanwhile, America stood untouched, its industries stronger than ever. It financed the future. Through rebuilding plans, loans, and aid, America tied the world to its currency. The dollar became the language of trade. If you wanted stability, you needed dollars. If you wanted growth, you needed access to American markets. Power no longer required occupation, it required dependency. Institutions, agreements, and rules that looked neutral on the surface. But every road led back to the same place. America did not conquer nations. It positioned itself at the center of everything they needed. Even when gold was removed from the system, the empire did not fall. Because by then, belief had replaced metal. Oil was priced in dollars. The world was locked in. Every major financial crisis since has strengthened this empire. When markets panic, money runs toward America, not away from it. When uncertainty rises, the dollar becomes a shelter. The very system that causes instability also benefits from it. That is not an accident. That is design. But this power comes at a cost. Entire nations rise and fall based on decisions made thousands of miles away. Currencies collapse. Savings vanish. And ordinary people pay the price for games they never agreed to play. The financial empire does not wear a crown. It does not march armies through capitals. It moves silently through interest rates, trade rules, and invisible flows of capital. The United States became the world's financial empire, not because it was perfect, but because it was strategic. It learned faster, adapted harder, and understood something others ignored. Control the system, and the world will follow. And now we live inside that system, whether we like it or not. Every paycheck, every loan, every crisis is connected to it. The question is no longer how America became the financial empire. The real question is how long this empire can last.